Hello, Crafty Critics. Welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm so glad you found my channel. This is the Crafty Critic, where we chat about all things movies and TV while getting creative together. If you love honest reactions, fun discussions, and a cozy vibe, you're in the right place. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a new upload. Now, grab your favorite craft or get comfortable and let's get into it. Okay, let's talk The Polygamist, episode 3. Okay, the last episode ended. Our girl Joyce was being arrested, and this one, it starts right off with her in the clinkety clank. Okay, she's behind bars. But Joyce is not in there alone. She's in there, and this woman is just yapping. You know how they be doing in jail. They be telling you everything that happened to them. But the lady, she's in there and everything, and she is hot. She's like, I can't believe this mofo have called the cops on me. Joyce is probably thinking the same thing, like, the hell. But she's like, yo, I scratched her car and all, okay. But this mofo was cheating. He's been cheating. He's cheating, going around sleeping with a bunch of women, gave me HIV. And then Joyce looks up like, what, girl, what? Because, now she's like, that's T. And she's like, yep, AIDS. And she said, yeah. She said, I should have did way worse than scratch somebody's car. I should have castrated him because that's the part that make him feel like he a man and everything, so he could cheat and everything. She was like, I should have castrated him. And I was like, absolutely, girl. Slicing up somebody's car and everything or scratching somebody else's car ain't doing nothing. But yeah, castration, she on the right track. So then the girl's like, you must think I'm crazy, right? And then she just looks at Joyce and she's like, what a beautiful woman like you doing behind bars. And Joyce is like, my husband's side chick put me in here. So she's the one called the cops, not him. But his side chick put me in here and I burned down our old house that we used to live in. Girl is like, what? And Joyce is continuing like, yeah, with both of them in there. Like, girl. The girl starts laughing because she's like, girl, you the bomb. Cause like, what? Like, I should have did that. Like, why didn't I think of that? When you be in an argument or something and you say some stuff or whatever, but later on you start thinking like, dang, I should have said this and I should have did that. That would have been epic. But yeah, she like, girl, I should have did that. You the bomb. And Joyce is like, it's a pity they both survived. Like, in the moment she was feeling like, let me call him, get him out of that house and everything. But shit, she like, damn, they both survived. Then Joyce is like, we have a party coming up to celebrate our 20 years anniversary. And, I'm behind bars. What about my baby? She's talking about her last baby. He's just a baby. My kids, I'm behind bars. Everything that I worked for and this led me to here. And you feel that, though, because, bruh. But I'm like, girl, let this 20-year anniversary party go. You just burned down the house with his lover in it and him. And you still talk about this damn anniversary. But this is the length that people do to appear like they're still happy for everybody else because they're making an income from it, so they have to save face. So old girl is just like, damn, like, and then all she could muster up is a happy anniversary, sis. Like, shit. So we cut over to Jonas and Maltipa, and he's like, you put Joyce behind bars? Like, you call the cops? And she's like, what do you think I'm supposed to do? Like, she burned down our house. What are you talking about? And he's like, listen, let me tell you about the Gomorrahs. We do not air our dirty laundry out in public. We don't do all of that. We don't be calling no cops over here. And she's like, oh, you think this is funny? Like, are you serious? And he's like, she's the mother of my children and everything. So Maltipa's looking like, excuse you? Like, excuse you? And then his kids storm in like, hello, our mom's in jail and you over here lounging? Like, hello, come and get her out of there. So Pume is looking at Maltipa and like kind of rolls her eyes and she's like, oh, it must be nice to be able to lounge over here and not care that our mother is behind bars. You don't care about us. There's no way you love us. And he's like, listen, don't worry about it. I'm about to handle it. So they cut over to Sarah and her family. They all getting ready to go to the anniversary dinner. Their anniversary party. And, she's like, it starts at 3. Why are we leaving so early? And her mom is like, listen, I want to get a front row seat. And then she gets a text that comes in from Pume. And Pume is like, listen, my mother was arrested last night by Maltipa. And her mom is straight messy. She's like, they're like, well, I guess there's not going to be a party because apparently, Joyce was the one that burned down the house. And she was like, she wanted to go, first of all, because she was like, I want to see Joyce is getting married, renewing her vows to a man that don't even live with her. And then she's just like, haha, laughing at that. And then she's like, listen, I want to go. I'm definitely going there to see, what's going on. I didn't think Joyce had it in her. She's the one apparently that burned down the house. So she's a key. And everybody else is like, I don't think that this party is happening. And she's like, we gonna go see. She messy. So Joyce is laying in jail, contemplating life, and the guard comes and he's like, Joyce, Gamora, your husband is here to bail you out. And the girl pops up and she's like, Joyce, Gamora. She was like, Gamora, I knew you from somewhere. Because remember, Joyce is an influencer, so, people know her. And she's like, listen, girl, when I'm going to have to DM you, you're going to have to answer me. Like, don't forget me, girl. But at least he did come and get her. I mean, how embarrassing, though. Like, I'm in this because of you. I'm here because of you. Everything that you've done to me. And yet you don't want to have to come bail me out and then drop me home. So, yeah, I'd be highly embarrassed and pissed. So when Joyce is getting ready to leave out this car, this man, this piece of shit, turns to her and say, listen, wait, before you go, I have my publicist ready. He needs both our statements, about this divorce. And, she's crying and she's just like, you know what? I'm tired of fighting whatever spell this girl done put you under, whatever she done did. And she said, I'm tired. She was like, you know what? You can have your divorce. That's fine. And he's like, okay, great. And she's like, but after the party, like I'm going to save face. You're going to do this party with me. We're going to have our anniversary and then I'll sign you those stupid papers. But right now she's feeling the pressure because all her people is calling her and these people that she is representing and everything, they can't wait. Everybody's going to be there. Like, she's like, listen, just look out for me. Just do this little fake little shit over here. And then I'll sign you little funky little papers. But he's like, no, I don't want, she's like, you want your freedom or not? He's like, I don't want it like this. So she still looks defeated. Everybody's calling her. She got like a bunch of voice messages and everything, and she's in a big mess. So Joyce called somebody because I guess this is her last hope. She calls someone on the phone. You don't know who, but she calls and she's like, listen, I need your help. Next thing you know, she's putting on her little dress. She's like getting ready to go to this party, and Pume walk in like, I know you're not about to go and still do this with this man that is treating you this way. And she's like, this man is your father, but she's like, yeah, but he's treating you horribly. Like, why would you go through with this? So Joyce is over here trying to gaslight her daughter and saying, you know what, this is marriage. Like, this is what it entails. You don't just walk away from your marriage. You fight for it. And Pume is like, okay, so if there was another man, if this wasn't my father, it wasn't your husband, if this was another man doing this to you, so you telling me that you'd be happy, you'd be fine with this? And her face says it all. Because boom, for real. Don't use it under the guise of marriage, which should be more sacred, and you're just sitting here gaslighting her. So what you're trying to teach her that's okay, that even if you're in a marriage and someone's treating you like that you should stay. That's just not good to be teaching your daughter. And she knows her daughter is right, but it's like at this point she done made a brand and a name for herself out of this marriage and out of her life, as it is as a unit. So she's like, she can't just let that go because he decided to move on with another woman, a younger woman. Like, she's like, no, that's not gonna happen. We cut over to the party, and Essie is over here judging like hell, okay? And Freedom is always drinking. So she's over here judging, and she's just like, look at her. Over there just a lying, just fake. Like, girl, why are you here? Because you fake too. But Joyce really showed up to this anniversary party, didn't say nothing to nobody, which I think would be even more embarrassing than to just call everybody up and say that it's canceled if he doesn't show up. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Girl. Then in comes this heifer, Maltipa. Let me tell you, body tea, better wig day. And she walks her behind up into this daggone party. Alone, mind you. Then they cut over to the women that, she's trying to impress. And they're like, where's Mr. Party? When is this going to start? And I'm just like, at this point, like, gosh, y'all thirsty. Like, dang, be at the party. And when they say it's going to start. Like, nobody needs you stressing nobody out at their daggone anniversary, okay? Like, even if this wasn't the case that he was messing around and she was nervous that he's not gonna show up or whatever, like, why is you so thirsty for this party to start over? Start. I've never been at a party where I'm constantly nagging the host. When did we start and when did we come? When I'm gonna meet your husband? Like, y'all so thirsty. Like, at this point, I'm sick of them. So Joyce is like, yeah, he'll be here soon. And Maltipa is like, will he? Like, girl, when you gonna make this announcement? And she introduces her as a family friend to them, and she's like, actually, I'm a good friend of the Gamoras. She's like, actually, me and Joyce are practically sisters, you know, even more than that. And then she's like, so Joyce, are you gonna make the big announcement? And Joyce is like, boy, if I could snatch you right now, and I feel a snatch a girl. So the nosies are like, what announcement? And Maltipa's like, I'll fill you in. She said, because see, Joyce here and, you know, Jonas are officially, and she about to spill that tea, and in walks Jonas, okay? And he has on his whole little outfit. And Maltipa's like, what in the hell? When she hears him coming up from behind her. And Freedom is me at this point, like, ooh, girl, what's going on? His whole face was my face. So Joyce got a big smile on her face, and she's like, thank the Lord. They share a kiss, putting on this little facade. And finally, these two can go somewhere, because I feel like they probably was hoping that he wasn't going to show up, because they wasn't believing that, you know, because he hasn't been around for some of the shoots and stuff like that or whatever. I just feel like they were so fake. And then they was like, oh, like he's here. Like, yeah, boom, all up in y'all face. Maltipa is clearly pissed. So she finally introduces her husband to them, and he's like, oh, you look gorgeous. Like, you know, are you the one getting married? And they giggling and stuff like that. He landed on her. He playing his role. I ain't gonna lie. He played that off. So the two of them leaving this party, like, well, escaping the little company so they can have a little huddle over here in the corner, had me cracking up. So as soon as they're out of earshot range and out of sight, she's like, Joyce is like, oh, so the wild dog decided to show up. And he's like, oh, so I'm a dog now? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, yeah. Did she stutter? So Jonas is like, how could I not show up? Because you contacted the minister's wife and they basically threatened my tender. So I wanted to know what that was. So I looked it up. So basically, it's a formal competitive bid submitted by a contractor or supplier to win a contract to provide goods, services, or construction work. So he had a tender with this pastor, with this minister, and because she contacted the minister's wife and was telling her, I guess, basically what was going on, he had to show up. So he showed up for this anniversary. He asks Joyce, how low can you go? And she's like, I'll go to the depths of hell. Because, like, you're not messing up what I got going on because you wanted some new coochie. That's not going to happen. And I was here like, I know that's right, but she could have him. I wouldn't want him. And these two are arguing. And, you know, he's like, and she's like fixing his tie. And he's like, don't touch me. Oh, his bow tie. And he's like, And then she's like, oh, I'm just fixing my husband's tie. And he's like, well, I'm your husband now. You know, you holding my company hostage. And she's like, our company. Like, stop calling it your company. And then when the guests start coming, they act all lovey-dovey again. It's hilarious. Jonas' brother is the one that's like clearing his throat, like, hello, y'all stop fighting, your guest is coming. So they like, oh, like they all in love. Smiling again. Yo, the joint is hilarious. And walks the minister and his wife. And basically, you know, Jonas is all like, you know, thank you for my tender and for the contract for our company. And the minister's wife is like, yeah, you know, remember, we backed you and Joyce. Like, it's not just for you, it's for you and Joyce, because you guys show that, you know, you're a loving marriage and y'all have ethics and stuff like that. You know, she's raving on and on about Joyce and how much she admires her. And she's like, remember, y'all are a package. So basically, like, no package, no deal type thing. And so she's just basically reminding him. And Joyce is over there eating it up like, exactly, girl. So Majisha's like, what's going on here? Like, you ain't tell him that y'all not, you know, doing this? So you know that he knows that he wasn't planning on doing this, the renewing their vows. So he's like, well, she ran and told the minister, and the minister threatened my tender. So he's like, so what does that mean? He's like, that means we're renewing our vows. Like, let's go. So Joyce walks in looking like a piece of art, okay, looking like a work of art. And Jonas is kind of like taken back, like, you know, like shocked that, you know, she looked good. Like, he don't know she puts it on. I personally don't love the dress, but she does look beautiful, and you could just see that he took note of how beautiful she looked. As Joyce is walking down the aisle, her vows are being said over the actions, and she's saying love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, love is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It perseveres through everything. It always trusts. It always hopes. She says, I still love you. And as she's saying this, it's like little clips of when she had the baby, them happy together, all the little happy moments. And she says she don't think it'll ever stop her loving him. Now, are these her memories or his memories as she's walking down or as she's saying her vows? We don't know, but probably hers. Might be a little bit of his too. And he looked like the words hit him a little bit, like he was a little bit touched by it, you know. And it cuts over to the crowd. Essie is still over there, like hating, you know, like she wanted to see some drama and she didn't get that. Maltipa rolling her eyes, she's still salty. They share a kiss, and it would have been beautiful if it was all real and not smoke and mirrors. I mean, it's very real to Joyce, but to Jonas, I don't know. In this moment, he's in it. But does he really feel it? Joyce starts crying, and then Jonas takes like a little handkerchief out of his jacket, and he's like wiping her tears, and you know, he's very tender with her. And Maltipa is pissed. I mean, wouldn't you be too if you was a husband still in wench and and he's over here renewing his vows with his wife? She's salty. She also sees that there's still some love there because he is still, you know, nurturing and caring for Joyce. I mean, she's only his wife, wench. Like, girl, bye. Majish gets up and he's doing like a toast to his brother, and he's saying, you know, there's no secret, I'm the younger brother, and you know, we had it rough growing up, but Jonas had it worse, you know, because he's, you know, the older brother and he was always a dreamer. He said, then things changed, you know. Joyce showed up, my sister-in-law, and he points at Joyce and he says, this woman right here, you know, she opened doors for this man. And, you know, he's sitting there and he's looking salty, but it's the truth. Like, so she opened doors for you? Like, let's not forget that you're here where you are today because of Joyce, you know, being in your life. So, yeah, he didn't look like he was too happy about that. And I really like that he pointed that out because sometimes men forget, and I'm not just saying it, I'm just saying it in this context because I'm not saying that it doesn't happen on the flip side, but in this context of this show, you know, sometimes men do forget that, you know, that they where they are because the woman that was beside them was so strong throughout the struggles and whatever it took to get you there, you know, and then once they're there, they forget that. He continues and he's saying that, you know, she saw the potential in him and that he was a great man, and that Jonas once said that with this woman by my side, I will take over the world. And then he says 20 years later, you know, they're still doing good. And he said, keep at it. And he told them to conquer. And I love that. That was a really nice speech. Then he says, okay, I'm talking too much and everything. He said, then he's laughing and he's joking. He said, and that's what happens when you marry a woman like Essie, you know, saying that, you know, she talks too much, so therefore he talks too much. And everybody's laughing, and Essie don't think that that's funny at all. But she only laughs at other people. She don't want to be laughed at. So they toast to everlasting love. So they share their first dance, and while they're dancing, everybody's clapping, and he's over here whispering to Joyce, so when are you going to sign those papers after this little show of yours? So, yeah, he learned nothing. He cared about nothing. The whole speech, none of it. So Joyce, like, starts laughing a little bit, and she's just like, you know what? What made you? What exactly did I do to make you fall out of love with me? So instead, he answers that with, I will not wait forever. Understood? And then she looks, you know, sad. And he's like, smile. Like, put on this show for the cameras and for your people. That's what we here for. Smile and delight and be joyful. I'm like, you motherfucker. And he tells her to smile. Everyone is watching. And then they cut over to the crowd. And look who's dead center, like in focus, is Maltipa. And she is mad. She is the lady in red. She is looking like the Scarlet Letter. Just big mad. So Minzy walks outside and his little crush, Then Donnie walks outside and she's like, what you doing out here? And he's like, I needed some air. And she's like, you needed some air? We're outside. And he's just smiling and blushing because he is like in love with this little girl. So she asks him if he's wearing Tom Ford, and he's like, yeah, why? And she's like, because I love a man that has money and power and smells good. And I'm like, girl, bye. So she like, don't stand out here. Let's go dance. So he's smiling, and here comes Freedom. And he walks up to him and he's like, let's go dance. Let's go dance. Just making fun. And he's like, go on there. Like, you're going to keep missing your chances. And he was like, what chances am I missing? And he said, why don't you just go up to her, grab her, and kiss her or whatever. And he's like, no, that's sexual assault. And he like, sexual assault when she kissed you back at the club. And I'm like, boy, you still on that? It was a kiss on the cheek to thank him for what he did. Like, let it go. Yes, it would be sexual harassment. It would be sexual assault if he just walked up to the girl and kissed her. Let me tell you, anybody listening, if you're near y'all young, like, do not just go and grab a female that's not your girlfriend and grab her and kiss her. That is sexual assault. He is absolutely right. So as they're talking, this guy comes and he's angry and he's yelling or whatever. And then Menzies like, oh, shoot, that's the guy from the club. So, and I'm like, what are you doing here during the wedding? Like, boy, go find something to do. Why are you showing up here from some stuff that happened the other night? Like, boy, bye. So then the two of them, Freedom and Menzies, runs over to get his uncle, who was talking to his daughter, Sarah. And he's like, why are you just sitting here? Like, why aren't you dancing? And she's like, she's tired. And he's like, tired? I'm going to want to dance later. And, they're laughing and everything. But he basically, they run up to him and they're like, we got trouble at the door. So Unc walks outside with them, and dude is over here yelling and talking about, my boys told me what happened. So you chose today on a wedding to come, or a renewal, to come and pop your gums about your boy that got beat up at the club. Like, who does that? So he walks up there with his boy and everything, and he's talking about son. Yeah, he told me what happened at the club and everything. Looking like, they big, both of them. Like, why are you coming over here and talking about this with these guys that's clearly smaller? He basically like, I want to see Jonas, the owner of this. Like, I don't want to see these little kids. I'm coming there for them. Now, maybe that's not his son. Maybe that's his brother or something that came there and everything. But, they showed up looking for the father because I guess they're not going to approach the kid, which I do get that. While inside, Joyce's mother is over here at Maltipa like, why are you here, ho? She ain't say it like that. I say it like that, but she like, what you doing here? Like, let him go. He's a married man. He came, he showed up. I know you feeling salty. Like, you need to, like, leave that man alone. And she's like, Joyce invited me. Like, girl, she only invited you. Like, it wasn't a real invite. But here you are. Majesh is outside. He's trying not to cause a scene. He's like, we could go talk about this in the office. And he like, no, I want to speak to Jonas. Like, you not. Majis is like, come to my office some other time. This is my brother's anniversary. And, we can squash it then. And he like, this is why I wanted to speak to the boss. He was like, not you, fatty. Like, so you came up here on purpose during his anniversary. So Majis is like, you know what the problem is with having money is that people think you soft. And he started taking off his coat, and these dudes are laughing, okay? Because they're more in the prime of their life. They're more in shape than him. But he takes off his coat. He like, you forget that I'm from Township, and they still laughing. And I'm like, that's the hood. That's what that is. You must forget that I'm from the hood. So dude put his hand on his shoulder, like, what you gonna do? And Majis gave him one to the face, a knee to the gut, and dude was down. And the other dude was looking like, the hell? He gathered up his friend and what was left of their dignity, and they ran out of there. So the minister's wife walks over to where Maltipa and Joyce's mom is talking, and she's like, so is this the home wrecker y'all was telling me about? Like, bruh, they told it all. And she just got this face of disgust, like, ugh. So she pulls out her tight dress, and she's like, listen, you need to learn to keep your hands off of other women's men. And she called her a Jezebel, and she's like, and so Maltipa, she's like, you two are witches, and she walks off. So Majis is over there telling Menzies, you're the firstborn, you need to grow some balls and learn to handle your own business. Jonas gets up there and he does this bullshit-ass speech talking about I remember when I first laid my eyes on you, you were radiant, and, I owe everything that I am today to you, my beautiful wife, which is true in words. He just don't believe it in sentiment. Like, he's real fake about it. Like, it is actually true, but yeah, he's just saying it to say it. But it's the truth, though. Maltipa is fuming, but you still there. Why are you still there? Like, he actually went through everything. Like, why don't you leave? Just leave. No, she's still sitting there, just like fungus on bread. She's just still sitting there, just spewing, just mad. So yeah, he's finishing his speech. He owes everything to his wife and his beautiful family. And it cuts over to Essie and Sarah, and Sarah looks upset. It looks really sad. And then Essie's like, like what? Like, girl, you so salty for what? Like, you so salty. So everyone's leaving now, and the minister and his wife is like, you have a great family here. You got a great wife. Just always remember that. And I don't know, it's something in the minister's eyes and the way he was looking at Jonas. I was like, you probably a little freak too. He just looked like it. Then as the minister is walking out, he kind of looks back at Maltipa, and he like does this like little look, and she looking like what you looking at? Now I don't know. It could be because he know that she's the mistress, or it could be because he knows that she's the mistress and she look good, and he kind of eyeing her. I don't know, but it's a little look over there at her, and she was looking back at him like, don't be judging me, and like, or what you looking at. We cut over to Jonas talking to Majish, and he's like, look, Essie is embarrassing us because basically she's getting towed up. She's loud. And Freedom, too, though. He's loud. I mean, he's been drinking and everything, too. So he's basically like, could go handle your wife, bruh. So he does exactly as his brother says, and he's like, let's go. It's time to go home. And she like, why? You ruining the party. Like, we having fun. Like, and he like, let's go. Get your drunk behind up. Maltipa pushes past Jonas, and, she's pissed. And he can tell, but girl, why you still there? And he hasn't said 2 words to you. Maltipa finally pulls him to the side to have this little conversation, and she's just like, what the hell is going on? I came here just to humiliate Joyce. Like, why would you want to humiliate Joyce? Like, she didn't do anything to you. But anyway, she came there to humiliate Joyce, and what's going on, and she's still going to sign these divorce papers. Then he goes to walk off, like he said, you think this is the right time to talk about this? And he goes to walk off, and she grabs him like, hold up. She like, Joe, I'm talking to you. And he pulls his arm away from her and walks clean off. No words for her. So he leaves her just standing there looking stupid and alone. So Joyce and Joe is back at the house, and she walks in, and he has the divorce papers waiting, like just waiting on the desk for her, on the dresser for her. And she's like, you didn't have to drive me all the way home just to make sure I signed your little raggedy papers. So she like, I said I was going to sign them, and I'm going to sign them. And she does. She signs them. So he actually looked sad when she went to sign them, because it's kind of like one thing to say that you want it to be done or whatever, but when it actually happens, it's kind of like, damn, this really happening. Like, she really gave up and signed those papers. She's still sad and distraught. And I'm like, girl, why? I mean, I get it, 20 years and everything, but his mistress came to y'all renewal. Like, bruh, I cannot. So she goes to walk off, and he grabs her arm, and she turns around like, what? And this motherfucker gonna say, I miss you, Joyce. And I'm like, what? What? Sir, gather your papers and please exit. Please get out this house. And Joyce isn't taken back. She's like highly confused. And I'm like, me too. Like, what in the hell? So she's like, what's happening? And, I'm like, he is just really trying to fuck this woman over. He's just playing mind games with her. He is like really a mind fucker. And he's pissing me off, because I'm like, why? You're sending her through all of these. You're making her jump through hoops, and you're playing games. Like, what are you doing? What's your end goal here? So he kisses her, and she kisses him back. And I'm like, why? Like, I get it. She wants her marriage. She wants her husband. She does not want to divorce him. But, girl, I'm like, run. Do not walk to the nearest exit. Like, he's just playing games. But, of course, she wants her husband. And, she's confused. And I think that he set it up to be that way, because he likes to play games with these women. So they are kissing, like, passionately. And I'm like, he's staying over, girl, ain't he? You about to let him stay over. Maltipa's about to be real pissed off. Like, girl. And remember, he's been gone for a little while. He's been over there for a little while, so she hasn't had no nothing in that whole time. So she hot and bothered probably, but I'm like, girl, don't do it. And that's the end of the episode. So yeah, we had a whole lot of gaslighting in this episode. And my review of this episode, I mean, it was definitely really it was really messed up. You know, I did like how she got him to have to go there, but it's sad that she had to go through those things just to get him there to do this renewal. And it would have been a beautiful thing if it was an actual real renewal, but he was still playing games up until the end, like basically wanting her to sign these papers and then for him to turn around and just go and backtrack on that whole thing. So I thought it was a great episode. It kept me entertained. It was funny and, you know, still really messed up and everything. So yeah, there we have it. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know down in the comments, and I cannot wait to bring episode 4 to you guys. That's it for today's discussion. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment down below and let's keep the conversation going. And if you enjoy hanging out with me, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next movie or TV chat. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, every great story deserves a great conversation. Until next time, bye!